it up for Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
Oh, Graham Rucker for the touchdown. Graham shoots it high on the right for 3.
This is the Buckeye Show.
It's in the back of the fire truck who steers it from behind.
You think so?
Yeah, because you're quite important. You're more vital than I am. But
I wouldn't say that. You're a legend in this media.
Yeah,
game,
there you go. There you go.
I'm just trying to find my way, Tim.
I know. I heard you were campaigning for father/husband of the year earlier today. I think you should be in the running, top 10, and we'll see where it goes from there. What do you think?
I'd say that I'm just trying as hard as everybody else is. That husband and father of the year award it's some really great fathers out here, which is really cool to see.
Yeah.
I wish I had more time to spend with my kids, but I got to do a lot of providing, so I'm always working.
Yeah, I know. When I was really working hard before I retired, and then got dragged out of it to a certain extent, but I don't know if I'd been father of the year, but I'm trying to be grandfather of the year. You know what I mean? I'm making it up. Making it up on the flip side. Yeah. Anyway, hey, Tyvis, it's good to see you again. We haven't seen each other for a couple of days.
Yep.
And number one, number two, boy, it's hurtling. It's hurtling right at us, man, the college football season. And
I know, man.
And you and I both know, I know you get questions about this. I get them incessantly, like I know anything about how good this team is going to be.
Yeah, I got that today.
Yeah, who's going to be the starting quarterback? Right on down the line. I keep trying to, this is a great roster, a great football team, in my opinion, on paper. It's going to be proven through the season one way or the other, as you well know. So all you can do is spout facts. But I did want to open this show tonight because as good as this team is, we know college football. You played college football.
Yeah.
You know that just when you think you're pretty darn good, you can stub your toe, right?
Yeah.
And I think you were the one who put forth this subject. I mean, you look at this schedule and boy, who doesn't know that the first real game of the year is October the 12th at Oregon? And then there's a road trip the first Saturday in November to Penn State. And then there's the game at the end of November when Ohio State hosts. Who do they host?
You know who they host.
Okay. Well, I wanted to hear how you were going to say it.
The team up north.
Yeah, there you go.
Say.
I still refer to it as Michigan because I'm objective. I'm an objective member of the media. Yeah,
I am as well, but even on Big Ten, I say Wolverines. I never say the M word.
Yeah, there you go. Well, Wolverines, the W is just an M upside down.
I got that from Coach Meyer. Coach Meyer was like, if you ever notice, he will never say the M word, but he will say Wolverines. And I was like, you know what? If they allow him to do that, then maybe I can do it.
Correct. A Wolverine by any other name is still from Michigan. But but we digress. Both of us digressed on that one.
Yeah.
But, you brought up a good point. Like I said a while ago, just when you think you got it going on, trap door.
Yeah.
Trap door. Trap game. And I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at this schedule. I think we both agree on one of the trap games, but that game that jumps out at you is glaring.
Yeah.
The way it jumps out at you is what?
Is that Iowa game. That Iowa game jumps out because first of all, Iowa always has that good defense. And, you'll be coming off of a Michigan State game in Michigan State. You'll be back at home, which is a saving grace. But, Iowa is tough. I mean, I think the last couple of times we played Iowa, we've struggled offensively. That defense for Iowa is just one of the best in the country. And you can see how easy it could be for them to look ahead and look at an Oregon. Now, I think they do a great job at the Woody trying to keep everybody focused, but the mind is the mind. Like, you're going to look like, all right, it's Iowa. They're not going to have any offense this year because that's probably how they always are. Our offense will get it rolling. Our defense will get some stops, get the ball back to our offense, and eventually, this offense will get rolling and we'll win that game. But that next game is the one that everybody's circling. Everybody's going to see that game because the winner, the team that's going to win the Big Ten arguably is in that game. Is one of the two teams, or the teams that's going to see each other in the Big Ten championship might be these same two teams. So you want to get that feel. You want to be ready. You want to be locked in because of the expectations on the season. So I can see how an Iowa game can get overlooked because Iowa could come off as a boring game. It can be boring. Like their offenses might not do nothing. Their defense might shut you down, and it might be a 10-3 game or something like that.
Gotcha. Yeah. Although Ohio State's kind of handled them to a certain extent at home most of the time. Their defense has always played extremely lights out. Mm-hmm. It's just too bad that Iowa opted not to include offense in their game plans the last several years. But, of course, we'll see if that's been rectified with the change at the Iowa offensive coordinator situation. But it's still head coach Kirk Ferentz in charge. And I see exactly where you're going there. I'm looking at this, and I had to pick another game. And the game that I picked might surprise you. But I think Nebraska is going to be better.
Really?
Yeah.
You drinking the Roux-Ade.
I do not believe Nebraska is going to upset Ohio State. But I believe Nebraska is going to be better because I like their coach. Mm-hmm. He has a plan in the transfer portal and everywhere else, recruiting, et cetera. He's gone after both offense and defense. Yeah. Because let's face it, what's been missing from Nebraska forever was the black shirts. I mean, yeah, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, they used to swear by their defense, and the last many years they've sworn at their defense. So the fact that that's going to be better, and like you said, kind of where it sits there on the schedule, it's 2 weeks after the Oregon game. Either Ohio State's going to be high as a kite coming back from Eugene, mm-hmm. or are they going to be brought back down to earth. Yeah. We'll see how that game plays out. Yeah. I think, it'll be just the second game Ohio State's ever played in Eugene. The first one was back in 1967. So, and this one's a Big Ten game, or big-time game, as you pointed out, with huge ramifications nationally as well as locally or regionally. Mm-hmm. Whatever you call them. Is the Big Ten regional anymore? It's national, isn't it?
Yeah, it's national.
Yeah, I'd say it's national.
We coast to coast now.
Yeah, exactly. Coast to coast.
I mean, it's always I like that's actually a good pick. Another game could be the Michigan State game.
But wait, the reason I brought that up is because Ohio State goes to Penn State the next week.
Well, yeah. And I mean, coming off of a bye week, you got to get back into the rhythm of things, and you never know how people are or what they're doing on their bye week. So that could be a major part of it. But I was thinking of another one is Michigan State. They got a new head coach, so maybe he changes the way people think.
Jonathan Smith. I don't think he's in relation to T-Bone, but
no,
on this channel. But you're right.
But the thing, I know they was an Achilles heel for us when we played, and since then Ohio State has done a great job of nipping that in the bud. But they can be a team that you can easily overlook and be like, and it's at Michigan State. For some odd reason, every time we go to Michigan State, it's like gloomy weather and stuff, and the atmosphere is just not great.
Right.
So that could play a major factor in it. I don't think Ohio State would struggle with any of these games. I mean, if you look at their roster, they shouldn't. But that's why they call them trap games.
But people put people in players' minds. I mean, you played the game. I mean, you were part of the national championship team in 2014, and before that, you did your daring do out there for the sake of Ohio State. How difficult is it from a week-to-week basis, even though you only get to play, even if they play 16 games this year, that's not very many, in your lifetime, that's not very many games. But how difficult is it to bring that 95 to 98 to 100% from week to week from a mental standpoint? I mean, that's definitely the difference, right?
Well, I think that we did a really good job of being locked in, and I think our coaching staff, and I think everybody at that Woody Hayes Athletic Center does a great job of, if it is like a down team, like Akron, you'll look at it like, it's Akron. Like, who's getting ready? Who's hyped up for Akron? Well, the good news is, one, that's the first game of the season. And then the coaching staff always does a great job of circling a couple of guys that's like, oh, this kid is actually really good. He could be playing in the Big Ten and stuff like that. And they'll show you a nice little highlight film where you can see it. You'll be like, oh, okay, I can see it. But at the end of the day, ultimately, you hyped up getting to the game because it's like, I got to shut this dude down. They actually might have somebody that's like really good. And then you get to the game and you realize it's like, he's not us. Like I've seen much better. I've gone against much better. So you end up handling. But it was not hard to be locked in week to week because coaches always are looking to make you better. And if you're really serious about your craft and you really want to be the best, you're not going to play every game perfect. And it's a copycat league. They're going to find something that the other team has success on you with, talking from a defensive standpoint.
Yeah.
They're going to find whatever play it was that they had success. You're going to see it again that next week, and it's up to you to show that you corrected that mistake. So it keeps you engaged and it keeps you locked in, and it's actually fun because when you see the same formation and they try to run that play, it's like, this is my opportunity to nip it in the bud so you'll never have to see it again. So it was always pretty easy for me to stay locked in because I always was striving to be better at something each and every game.
And do you guys as a group, do you realize, I mean, it's a beauty contest also, about the polls and everything else. Like going into that Akron game, do you expect them to have in their mind, it's time to show the nation what you're all about?
Yeah.
I mean, not just as a player, but as a group. I mean, do you remember getting sort of like even having those kind of thoughts as from a team standpoint?
Yeah. Anytime we played a MAC school or when we played FAMU,
FAMU.
Like we
left their band at home.
You got to go out there and you got to be dominant. Like it was like we ain't giving up nothing to them, nothing. And you had to bring your A game. The motivating factor in playing those type of games and those type of teams is, for a starter, is that I want to do so well so when the second half come, I can have a Gatorade towel on my head and I can cheer the young guys and the walk-ons on. That was the motivation. I wanted to tell those walk-ons, like, hey, I'm going to make sure you get in the game. I'm going to handle my business so you can get in the game, so you can get some time in the shoe and see these fans, and your sacrifice don't go unnoticed.
And that's imperative this year. I mean, Ryan Day has said from jump, I mean, they're going to play a lot of guys, and they've got a lot of depth, so they can afford it, right? I mean, it's capable depth. That motivates, too, knowing you're going to play, right? I mean, I'm talking about for the lesser guy. I mean, not lesser, the guys down the depth chart.
Yeah, I mean, those are moments where they're eager and they're hyped because listen, they're not dumb. They look at the schedule and be like, we should definitely take care of them. So I need to lock in and be extra juiced up. So you can tell when you're going against the scout team that week. Like somebody might have a little extra pep in their step that week because in their mind they know that they might see the field that week. And if they have some success in practice and they get a chance to go in the game, you're cheering for them like, you better do them like you did us in practice.
Yeah.
And usually they do. So it's always a good feeling.
I always forget, this first break, do we go in the 14-minute or the 15-minute?
Well, we're going right now. So when we come back, we're going to talk about, has the expectation for the quarterback position changed? When we come back, this is the Buckeye Show right here on The Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safelite Bob Discount Furniture and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center August 1st through 4th. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2024 to purchase your tickets today.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Did the pandemic eliminate quality customer service? Well, many places it did, but not here at Heartland Bank. Imagine getting top quality service and good advice as well to help you down life's road. It's community banking, and it's alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb, CEO. Coming over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
They're trained. They're prepared. Let's do it. They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Kroger always gives you savings and rewards on top of our lower-than-low prices. And when you download the Kroger app, you can enjoy over $500 in savings every week with digital coupons. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. And with a Boost membership, you'll save even more with double fuel points and free delivery. So you can always save big every day with our savings and rewards. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Libman makes a difference. The Libman Mop Crew is a part of our winning team. The Libman Mop Crew makes sure the hardwood is safe and clean for the players every game at the Schottenstein Center. No matter what kind of flooring you have at your home court, Libman has the tools to keep it clean. Our mops, brooms, and brushes are proudly family made in the USA. Visit Libman.com to see our whole lineup and for a store locator. That's Libman.com. Libman, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Common Man and T-Bone.
Did you get candy when you were a kid at a parade?
No, I didn't go to parades. Are you kidding? Hey, I'm walking down the street. Come on out and watch me. It's stupid. I hate parades.
Yeah.
Common Man and T-Bone.
Sponsored by the Hinderer Motor Company.
Weekdays 3 to 6 on The Fan.
You can use your phone at a doctor's office. You can use your phone at a football game. You can even use your phone at an amusement park. But one place you should never use your phone is behind the wheel. Fines now start at $150. So remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Along with the Ohio chapter of the International Society of Arboriculture, while you're outside, this is a great time to be on the lookout for invasive plant species like honeysuckle, poison hemlock, and even wild parsnip, which can cause severe skin blistering, so be careful. Invasive species can wreak all sorts of havoc, like altering the native food web, making it harder on native wildlife, altering soil chemistry, even creating a better environment for things like ticks and mosquitoes. To learn more or to find a certified arborist near you, go to treesforohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hey there, Central Ohio. I'm 10 TV weather impact meteorologist Michael Behrens of your latest forecast. We're looking at 58 tonight, mostly clear skies, comfortable conditions. Will stay nice as we head into the day tomorrow. High 83 with mostly sunny skies. The mostly sunny weather pattern continues into the weekend with 85 on Saturday and 86 on Sunday. In fact, no rain chance until Tuesday next week. I'm 10 TV weather impact meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
The show where we pay people extra to host with Timmy Hall. This is the Buckeye Show.
Yes, they do. They pay handsomely to have someone else host. Isn't that right, Tyvis?
They do. A nice couple of dollars.
Yeah, a little jing-a-ling in your pocket. But, hey, I want to get to this, how many times have you been asked this? I know I've been asked it a million times. I just touched on it earlier in that previous segment, which I thought was interesting, talking about trap games. Mm-hmm. What about trap quarterbacks, man? I mean, how many times have you been asked about Will Howard and the quarterback situation? I think the assumption is Will Howard's going to be the starter based on the fact he started the last 2 years off and on, pretty much on for Kansas State. Won a Big 12 championship, was part of the team that won that Big 12 championship 2 years ago, the previous Big 12. But I don't know. Where's your mind right now in anticipation of Will Howard, what he will bring to the fore, and how would you describe what his challenge is this year in terms of being that starter, but being Will Howard?
I mean, I like the fact that Will Howard is 6'5". I like the fact that he has some experience in all of these things. I love the fact that he's a willing runner. You know, you talk about how, if you listen to Ryan Day talk, he talks about how much of a factor the mobility of the quarterback will play in this season. My thing is, the question I need to know and I need to figure out is he a game changer? Is he that much of an upgrade of what you had? And that's the question that I don't have the answer to. You know, like I said, when we talked about this, I think on Saturday, we looked up the stats, and I think Kyle McCord's stats may have been just slightly better. Yeah. And I think they threw about the same amount of touchdowns, but I think he had more interceptions. Yes. And Kyle McCord, I think he had 10. Kyle McCord had 6. So my question is it that much of an upgrade, or was it better off just running it back with Kyle McCord? Because obviously, you know, quarterbacks in this system, maybe it takes 2 years. You know, C.J. Stroud wasn't C.J. Stroud for the first year. I mean, he got there towards the end of the year, but the second year he was just lights out. Oh yeah. And I wanted to see what Kyle would look like with 2 years in this system, but I understand why they felt they needed to move on from Kyle McCord to get Will Howard. So if they're going to sacrifice so much to get him, then he has to show up and perform. And I'm expecting to see a good season. You know, if he was able to do good things with Kansas State, with the talent that he had there, then with Ohio State, he should be even better. So the question is, you know, what are my expectations? My expectations for him is I would like to see around 3,000 yards. I don't need him to have this amazing season. I think everybody, if you think that Will Howard's going to go out there and throw for 50 touchdowns like Dwayne, I don't think that's the case. Like, I don't think he necessarily need to do that. I think that getting Chip Kelly in here and trying to get that run game going, I think that that's going to help. That's going to take pressure off of him because he don't have to sit there and say, it's going to be a 7-on-7. It's all on my shoulders. Yeah. I have to make all the correct throws because our run game isn't working. That's not going to be the case. I think that the run game is going to be a strong point in his offense, which is going to take the pressure off of him. And I think that he'll be able to hit open receivers. He'll be able to throw the deep ball, and he'll be able to make plays with his legs. So I'm looking to see him finish with somewhere in the mid-30 touchdowns, passing and running.
Yeah, over 16 games. You know, that's just two. That's just two a game.
That's not a lot.
Yeah, I think this confluence of Will Howard coming to Ohio State and Chip Kelly coming to Ohio State is at a perfect moment. I mean, that's just the way I look at it because Ryan Day wants his team to be a much better running team than it has been the last couple of years.
It has to be.
From a consistency standpoint. And when you throw in there the fact that they got also Quinshon Judkins to go with Travion Henderson, so it's not going to be all on Travion Henderson's shoulders. And then James Peoples and Sam Williams-Dixon coming along. I mean, both of them very talented freshmen. But you've got this quarterback now who not only can run but will run. Pardon me using that pun. Will run. And Will Howard. Yeah. Devin Brown, we know, will run. Yep. You know, just you haven't seen him yet, ladies and gentlemen. You've only seen him play a sort of a quarter when and it wasn't the best day by any stretch for the Ohio State offensive line. I'm talking about Devin Brown in the Cotton Bowl against Missouri before he left with his second, high ankle sprain of the year. But the bottom line is, I think the direction they want to go with this offense suits Will Howard. 2 years ago, that offense would not have suited Will Howard. They wouldn't even, I don't think, have pursued him in the transfer portal area.
Yeah.
Now, he was, a 3-star coming out of Pennsylvania when he ended up at Kansas State. He wants to prove to people that he can be a pro football quarterback. That's the reason he came to Ohio State with in his mind, not necessarily his words, but paraphrasing for him, a much better talent well around him from the standpoint of the skill players on hand. I think you agree it is an upgrade as far as that goes for him.
Yep.
So, but my jury's out on him because is he the kind of guy that, like you said, when he really has to make a play, is he the guy that's going to make that play for you? He showed that in the Big 12 championship game, but didn't show it all game. You know what I'm saying? You follow me?
Consistency.
Yeah. And so that's what bothers me a little bit. But he is a threat running the ball. He's a threat, especially running the ball when you don't expect it.
Yeah.
So that's what stands out to me about him. But, yeah, the jury's out. I don't really know what to expect from this offense as we sit here right now.
Yeah.
Because you got all these receivers. You've got these great running backs. You've got an offensive line that's veteran coming back with the exception of really one spot because I count Seth McLaughlin from Alabama at center as veteran, right? He started for 2 years for Alabama. But my big question really is, what is the quarterback going to bring to the table? And I think that's fair, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, it's fair. I mean, I think that in today's football, first of all, you got to realize that this isn't the NFL. This is college. You know, NFL, the quarterback means everything. If you ain't got a quarterback, you don't have a chance. But in college, that might not necessarily be the case. You know, it's not like J.J. McCarthy was this unbelievable quarterback that was going out there slinging the ball and getting 5,000 yards.
Yeah.
They asked him to throw little stuff, little over routes, and he did it. And he was able to extend plays with his legs when he had to. It wasn't like he was this great quarterback, but he just made the perfect plays when it was time to make those plays. And maybe that's what all we need out of Will Howard. Maybe that's what they saw when they watched the Wolverines last year. They looked at it and said, you know what? The run game was big, and they were physical in the trenches, and it opened up things for the quarterback and made it so easy for JJ to be able to make these plays. Yeah. And I think maybe they're asking and are going to be looking for the same thing out of Will Howard. Like, we're going to make this thing so simple to where we're going to have this amazing run game. We got to go back old school, back to 1990s Ohio State where the run game was just taking over, knocking people out the way. And it's going to make the pitcher clean, and you'll have to just make a couple throws. If not, the worst thing you could do, just take off running, and that should be open for you as well.
Yeah. I keep reminding people, Stetson Bennett won 2 straight national championships for Georgia. And I keep reminding people, a guy Georgia tried to run off at least twice, but he stuck around, and lo and behold, he's the 2-time national championship winning quarterback. And I think Will Howard has that in him. I think he has the ability to run and direct the team. We'll see if he has the ability to, in crunch time, to make a play.
Well, I mean, listen, Stetson Bennett had a great career. He could throw his wallet away in Georgia, and now he might be, who knows, he might be the guy that replaced Matthew Stafford. Hopefully Will Howard can find that same success here. I think Kyle McCord, he didn't set the bar high. I think it's something that Will Howard can eclipse. And if he does that, I mean, that had them, 11-1 last year, just being able to play as good as Kyle McCord. Yeah. With all these weapons, with this new coaching staff, he should be able to eclipse that easily. Now, we spent so much time talking about all the stars on this team. We're going to spend some time talking about the guys that are undervalued. Tyvis and Tim on the Buckeye Show.
If you're starting your day any other way, you're doing it wrong. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekdays starting at 6.
The Fan.
Tired of rising food prices? Start saving with deals for days at Giant Eagle and Market District. Enjoy low prices on more than 1,000 of your go-to grocery items store-wide. Dive into deals for a limited time at your local Giant Eagle and Market District.
Welcome to Nada Yada Island.
This season on Nada Yada Island.
When we were new, they spoiled me. They even gave me a phone. But then, it's like I didn't exist.
Don't take yada yada from your wireless carrier. Now with Metro, get that new customer feeling again and again. Introducing Metro Flex. Free 5G phones when you join, same deals as new customers when you stay. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Just bring your number and ID and sign up for an eligible plan. After 12 months, trade in and get our best deals on select devices.
Great coaching can make all the difference, especially when it comes to your money. At Right Pac Credit Union, our financial coaches are on your team. We'll help you create a winning game plan that's customized for your unique needs, so you can make the most of your hard-earned money and live the life you want to live. Best of all, Right Pac Credit Union serves all of Central Ohio, so getting in the game is easy. Let's win together. Stop by one of our Central Ohio member centers to get started today. Equal housing opportunity, insured by NCUA.
Come play Skyline's 75th Coney Hunt game. Use your phone to search for virtual conies, tap to collect coins, and redeem them for exclusive Skyline merchandise at participating Skyline restaurants for a limited time. Details at skylinechili.com/Coney Hunt.
I'm Joanna Williams, General Manager at Tansky Sawmill Toyota, and our summer clearance event starts now with 0% financing on the 2024 Toyota Tundra. Visit TanskySawmillToyota.com for details. Hurry in. Offer ends July 31st. And when you think Toyota, think Tansky.
Think Toyota. Think Tansky. Think Tansky.
With approved credit, 0% up to 48 months, tax, title, and $250 doc fee not included.
Much like a vampire, we need to be invited into your house. But once we're in, we never leave. Listen to The Fan on your Alexa or Google Home smart speaker. Just say play 97.1 The Fan and prepare to be amazed. Do it now.
Murphy Tractor and Equipment is your source for John Deere construction equipment rental. We rent high-quality equipment and attachments with add-on options in TopCon precision construction technology. Whether you need 1 week or 6 months, we rent a variety of equipment to help you get the job done. All our rental equipment is fully serviced, fueled, and ready to get to work. Let Murphy Tractor be your first choice for your construction equipment rental needs. Visit us online at murphytractor.com.
I've been doing this for almost 35 years. I learned everything from my grandfather. We still do everything old school. We do things the way I was taught to do them. We take care of our employees, we take care of their families, we take care of our clients. That's part of running a good business. We will always do business the right way, which I feel is the only way.
Visit Rosati Windows and save 35% on all windows.
Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Introducing Optimized IT, the managed services division of Modern Office Methods. With our cutting-edge managed IT services, we ensure your business always stays ahead of the curve, keeping you one step ahead of your competition. We bring proven management strategies to the table to support your current IT team, as well as provide insight on how to maximize efficiency, helping you achieve your goals faster. Concerned about security? Our backup solutions help guarantee your data is protected around the clock, giving you peace of mind. Start at OptimizedIT.net for your free IT assessment. Stay ahead, stay secure, and stay optimized.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The home of Big Ten championships and future first rounders. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
You got to let the heavy metal play a little while, Tyvis, right?
You like some heavy metal?
Yeah, no, not really.
I want to go to a mosh pit. Did you know that?
Yeah, you just want to be in a mosh pit. It doesn't matter who it's for or where it is.
That's right. I just want to, they get real physical in there. They be throwing their bodies around. I want to try it.
Yeah.
I just want to try it.
Yeah. I tell you what, I was getting into of all places, a Chicago, although it was Chicago Transit Authority then, but me and my girlfriend in Lufkin, Texas, we went to this concert at Nacogdoches, Texas, Stephen F. Austin State University. I think I was a junior in high school, and that's the closest I ever really was fearful for my life, was getting in the door. And then the Who concert kind of like was an example of what I'm talking about. But it is amazing how people kind of in situations have little disregard for the other person, if you follow my drift. And I would think a mosh pit is a great example of that. What do you think? Doesn't it?
I've never been in one, and I think that I would thrive.
Yeah, you probably would. But you're a big dude.
That's my point. I think I would thrive.
The big dude.
Throw myself into somebody, but obviously they're gonna do the same thing. So, but I think I've been in the weight room. I'm good. You know?
I was gonna say, and don't mess with somebody who's never shaved with a razor blade before, because he will take you out. Hey, you kind of hinted at this before the break, but we're going to look right now at maybe a couple of undervalued guys we think might be undervalued, at least in terms of preseason publicity or whatever. Yep. What guidelines you want to go on this one?
I mean, just a guy that's not getting a lot of hype right now, not the star player, but a guy that you feel is a key piece, but maybe he just don't get the recognition that he deserves.
The pump.
Yep. So, well, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Well, you go first, man.
I'm going to give you one on the offensive side of the ball, and I'm going to give you one on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, a guy that I feel like he's good, but nobody really talks about him. And I get why. He had a lot of penalties last year. But I'm going to go with Josh Simmons. I think Josh Simmons is he's an important piece because obviously he's a left tackle. So from that right there, he has to be good this season. If he's not, he could derail this entire season if he's not.
We might be talking about him more right now if he'd come out for some of those designated interview sessions that he kind of like went out the side door on with us last year.
I've spoken with him a few times. He's not big in the media.
Yeah, I know he's not.
That's just not what he really likes.
But he's enjoyable to talk to, which is too bad.
Yeah, he's actually I've had some really good, cool conversations with him, but he's straight to the point. He ain't that.
Can you imagine that though, coming from San Diego State to Ohio State? I mean, just the shock value of that, and yet he started every game. And
I mean, like I said, he had some offsides penalties. That was his thing, or maybe he have a holding call every now and again. But when you look at the PFF grade, he graded pretty high.
Yes, he did.
So, and I think they have him getting drafted. Can't remember what round they got him going in, but he actually had a really solid year last year. And you think year two around the same guys, around the same linemen. You got Donovan Jackson, who's arguably one of the best guards in college football next to you. You build that chemistry. Everybody trusts you more. You start believing in bond and having a bond with your teammates around you that's going to make you play harder. I think he's going to have a really good year this year.
Yeah. Plus, both those guys have a chip on their shoulder because who did Michigan attack? Who did Michigan bamboozle on the biggest play of the game?
Yeah.
Was those two guys on the left side of the line. And boom, open path to the quarterback. My guy offensively, and it's, depends on what you talk about publicity. I've had his dad on my the Tim May show a couple of times, but I like G. Scott Jr. I think G. Scott Jr., it's his moment. I mean, he's He's came as a wide receiver, a highly rated wide receiver, has grown into being a tight end. Now I think he's as good I think he had a pretty good blocking year last year from all the stuff I saw. And going back and watching video myself, yeah, I do that, folks. I don't know why. But he's definitely got good hands. I just think tight end G. Scott Jr., it's his moment. I mean, with Cade Stover now gone, them not being able to lean on Cade Stover even when he was banged up. But G. Scott Jr. and Will Kazmarek, but definitely G. Scott Jr. because they need a good year out of him.
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
I do agree with you. He was actually my second pick after Josh Simmons. My next pick is on the defensive side of the ball. I was going 1-1.
There you go.
But I was going back and forth between G and Josh. But G, to me, I think the biggest problem why he couldn't play right away at tight end is because of the blocking thing.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you get that. He's a kid who played wide receiver. Receivers don't really want to block like that. If you find a good blocking wide receiver, you keep him around because he's the one that springs a lot of plays free.
Yeah.
But to me, it seems like he's been in the weight room. He's gotten much bigger. And I think he's gotten much better as a blocker.
Yeah.
And I think that the tight end position last year with Cade Stover, with the things that he was able to do, he put a lot of young tight ends, everybody that was under Cade Stover, he kind of put them on notice. Like, this is what you can be because they're not thinking about you. They're not. The receivers are so good that they're not going to think about the tight end.
Right.
Especially a guy like Cade Stover. Like, that's why he was over. Like, nobody thought that he would be a threat. And he went out there and he took advantage of the situation. And it's been so long since we've had a tight end that's been an X factor. And G. Scott is the perfect guy to come in there and be a X factor because he has a receiver background. So he knows how to win routes. He knows how to beat, because he'll be on linebackers and maybe safeties. He will know how to beat these guys on routes because this guy did work with Hartline at a given point in time.
Yeah.
So he knows how to run routes. And I think that he could be a huge X factor in this. And I do believe he's a very undervalued guy.
Just a real quick clip on Cade Stover. It is unfortunate that he landed on his rear end, and the next thing you know, he was in a hospital in Georgia the night of the Ohio State-Georgia game when, early in that game, because they had some stuff planned for him, man. Yeah. I mean, Georgia was open pickings for C.J. Stroud, and you take the tight end out of that mix. I mean, wow, it wouldn't have come down to a field goal, I don't believe, on the final play of the game, but I digress. You wanted to talk about a defensive guy. Who's your defensive guy who's undervalued at the moment?
To me, it's Jordan Hancock. I mean, you hear about Caleb Downs, you hear about Denzel Burke, you even hear about Igbinosun, but you don't never hear about Jordan Hancock. And I think that he's a guy that's, first of all, an essential piece because if you don't know, a lot of people love putting receivers in the slot. And it's tough to guard guys out of that slot, especially if he's fast or if he's a real shifty guy, which slots usually are one of the two.
Yeah.
And I felt like at the end of that year, he started to come into his own at that nickel position, and he started to be a guy. And that's going to be important if you're going to go up against the Oregons, if you're going to go up against these teams that's going to pass the ball, 60 times a game. You need everybody to be able to cover. And I think he's a guy that for some odd reason, nobody talks about him, but he has a very solid game. And I think he's going to have a very productive year, especially if they send him on blitzes and stuff like that. If he's able to become a blitzer as well and he can cover, like that'll be something nobody's expecting. And he could be a very, very solid piece.
I agree. We talked about the cornerbacks all week on LettermanRow.com. I urge people to go watch and listen to that, read and listen to that stuff because we talked about Jordan Hancock and his value. My guy is Ty Hamilton. I watched him grow up, just like I watched his brother Devon grow up over several years. Devon's in the National Football League now.
Where is he at? Is he with Jacksonville?
Yeah, I think
still?
Jacksonville. But Ty is taking the same kind of path. And into the year last year, I thought he was a force inside. And he also started making plays about knowing what was going on in a play and getting in the way. You know what I mean? Or, hey, he's not supposed to be there type plays. And with he and Tyleik Williams, I think, present quite the conundrum for offensive lines going into this season. I think that is so key to the way this defensive front's going to play. And I don't know, what's your take on that? I think you talk about all the stars, you talk about the guys who return, you talk about the defensive ends for obvious reasons and stuff. But boy, Tyleik Williams and Ty Hamilton.
I mean,
that's a good little group right
there. It's a big part. I mean, you got to think about Mike Hall when he was there.
Oh, yeah.
He was a game wrecker. I mean, the things that he was doing, the sacks that he was getting from the middle, it changed everything.
Yeah.
So if you could get that same production out of 2 defensive tackles, it makes everybody's job on defense much better, much easier. You got that pressure. It's easy for quarterbacks to avoid a sack if it's coming off the edge. They just run away or they step up.
Nobody likes it in their face.
If you're a quarterback or if you're a running back getting the ball, if it's coming straight down you, it's hard because now you got to stop your feet and try to get around it. And that makes it the whole thing muddy. So those two, both of the tackles, will be a big piece.
Do you like this front four? I had Matt Finkus on my on the Tim May show this week talking football.
Yeah.
Make sure everybody understands that. But he likes his front four. Do you like this front four? I mean, you have to, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, you got all veteran guys coming back. You got 2 DNs that can be game changers, and now you got Tyleik Williams, who was unbelievable last year, and then you got Ty Hamilton coming up this year. It should be special this year.
Yeah, and I'm just curious how they're going to play Mitchell Melton, for example, where they're going to work him in. You know, because he's that quasi guy that was going to be the Leo in Jim Knowles' defense, and then got hurt. Remember 2 years ago, and he just oozes playmaking if he stays healthy, and that's just another guy you add to the mix. Where are you going to play this guy? How are you going to play this guy?
Well, when we come back, all this weapon talk that we've been talking about now, we're going to talk about who has the better weapons to work with, offense or defense. This is Tyvis Powell and Tim May on the Buckeye Show.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safelite Bob Discount Furniture and Weber. Happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center August 1st through 4th. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2024 to purchase your tickets today.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint. With their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind or grab a carryout. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizza, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Libman makes a difference. The Libman Mop Crew is a part of our winning team. The Libman Mop Crew makes sure the hardwood is safe and clean for the players every game at the Schottenstein Center. No matter what kind of flooring you have at your home court, Libman has the tools to keep it clean. Our mops, brooms, and brushes are proudly family made in the USA. Visit Libman.com to see our whole lineup and for a store locator. That's Libman.com. Libman, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
The Buckeyes are starting fall camp and we're tagging along. The Fan is broadcasting live August 1st through the 4th at Ohio State football practice. Morning juice and Bishop and Friends Thursday and Friday, plus live weekend programming. Let's go.
Hi, this is Ron from the Good Feet store. Are you standing on painful feet all day? Don't lose hope. We want to help you live without pain. Discover your option and visit goodfeet.com.
With surgery and drugs being the main options to treat chronic joint pain, that left orthopedic surgeons like Dr. Ray Tessner thinking,
geez, wouldn't it be nice if we can have another form of treatment that eliminates some of the downside and has a bigger upside as we learn more about it?
And then he found it. Regenerative medicine, an exciting, fast-growing approach to dealing with pain using healing agents from your own body.
Well, it's using the miracle benefits of the human body to help encourage healing.
Today, you'll find Dr. Tessner at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, giving patients lasting relief from joint pain in their knees, hips, shoulders, and back.
It's one of the best management tools that has come around in a long time.
Finally, options other than surgery and steroids. All natural regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics. Learn more. Call today for your free consultation.
Go to QCkinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Check out the all-new John Hinderer Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram facility in Heath and experience the difference. We're your exclusive AgPack dealer, offering up to $30,000 in savings and benefits. And if you're tired of waiting at the dealership for service, take advantage of our service made simple with Carvenience or mobile service. Home of the lifetime powertrain guarantee and one of the largest selections in Central Ohio. John Hinderer Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Route 79 in Heath, or HindererCDJR.com. We love what moves you.
Billiards Plus has everything for the master griller in your house. Come to their showroom, open the lid, and feel the difference in their grills. Professional top quality equipment at great prices with a huge selection ready to go home with you. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The show that knows how to throw a big, giant Buckeye party. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Hey, Tyvis, I think we're back. I think that was a signal that Tyvis and Tim May report to the bridge. Tyvis and Tim May report to the bridge. Hey, you brought up a good point, man. It's really, like I said, this is the best roster top to bottom I can remember covering at Ohio State. And I always preface or add this. There have been great players at every position that are better than maybe the great players at each of the positions now. But as a collection, this is right up there with like 96, 98, 2014 and 15. You know, those
teams.
pretty
2019.
There you go,
really
2019. Hell of a roster. But this is, man, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like there's a weak link. And then the spot that is weak is something that can be covered. You know,
right.
It's like the right guard. Like
right.
you can make adjustments for the right guard spot to where if it was the quarterback, like that's something that is hard to overcome.
Bingo. Ladies and gentlemen, spoken like a true safety. He's always eyeballing that offense. Where's the weakest link?
Yeah, you gotta find the weakness and exploit it. That's
you are the weakest link. By the way, my grandson Owen just called me during the break, and he was asked who his favorite golfer is. Is it Tiger Woods? And he said no, Granddaddy. So kudos to you, Owen, if you're listening, still listening.
You a good golfer too?
Here's the way I explain it. I love golf. And occasionally I hit a good shot.
Okay.
So, but we'll get into that when we do the Buckeye Golfer Show. I wanted to ask you this. You put this out there. Who has better weapons to work with? In 2024, which coordinator, and we're going to stick with offense and defense.
Yeah.
I don't even know who the special teams coordinator is. I think
I think it's a collective of everybody.
Which means you will follow on Ryan Day's feet.
That'll be Ryan Day.
You no longer have someone to fire, you know what I mean? It'll be you. But we're talking about Jim Knowles on defense in his third year. We're talking about Chip Kelly and all that he is from a reputation standpoint in his first season. And we're talking about that roster. Who you got?
I've been going back and forth on this all day because I see it. I can make the case for either side.
Don't get blinded. Don't get blinded by the sparklers.
I think
you know what I'm talking about. The sparklers.
I'm gonna go with the defensive side of the ball. I think.
I was gonna go with that one. I'll flip it now. Though.
I think Jim Knowles has the more because of the simple fact that you got JT who at any given moment can have a Penn State game where it's just unbelievable. He can do everything.
Oh, yeah.
Then you got Jack Sawyer who can have a Cotton Bowl game. Yeah. Then you got Tyleik Williams who can be a havoc down the middle.
Talk about a home wrecker.
Then you got Cody Simon who was really about to take Steel Chambers' position last year, but just a student of the game. He's going to be where he's supposed to be, and he's athletic to be able to make those plays, opposed to Tommy and maybe a Steele. He's a little bit more athletic than those guys. But then you got guys like C.J. Hicks and Sonny Styles.
What are you going to do with both of them?
They all have great skill sets that if you utilize them correctly and put them in the right position, they can be a game wrecker.
I'm with you.
Then you got Caleb Downs, who's arguably the best safety in college football. And you got Lathan Ransom, who plays the post better than anybody I've seen before.
Yeah.
You know, he's very undervalued as well. We could have put him on that list.
Did you watch any video of you playing the post?
Oh yeah, my post play was spotty at times. I had moments where I made some plays, and then I had moments where I was terrible.
Yeah.
But then you got IGB, you got Jordan Hancock, you got Denzel Burke.
Yeah.
I mean, like, everybody on that defense can be a weapon. So I'm going to say deep. Then you got Jermaine Matthews as well. So I just think you got just so many different guys that can contribute to not just being on the field, but can actually make plays that's game-changing plays.
Yeah, I'm with you. Boy, if opposing coaches, future opposing coaches, if you forget about Jermaine Matthews, that's your problem. That's your fault. I'm going with the defense too also, but for one good reason. I mean, I haven't seen Tim Walton or Jim Knowles going over to Chip Kelly and asking, you think we could borrow this guy for a play or two? You think we could borrow this guy for a play or two? Are you with me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I like this idea that Caleb Downs could play some offense. Not every play, not anywhere close to in a dominant situation as far as the amount of plays he's going to play. You never know who's going to blossom, right? But I really like this defense. 3 years ago, I would not have told you that. Those words would not have come out of my mouth. But I also like the way Chip Kelly thinks.
I do too.
And I know he knows he's got some weapons. I mean, when I've got the best wide receiver I've ever seen at Ohio State, Chris Carter, had him on my show last week and talking about Jeremiah Smith and what he expects from Jeremiah Smith. He goes, he expects him to make plays, not necessarily in the first half of the year, not necessarily in the first game of the year. He expects him to be out there the first quarter of the year. Because he's that level of freshman incoming wide receiver. And then right on down that Carnell Tate, right on down the line. We already talked about the tight end situation with G. Scott Jr. And in the running back situation.
That two-headed monster. What do you do with that? That right there could be so special to have two guys, because they're different, but they're kind of the same, Like you utilize them if you put them in the backfield together. So this is the thing: you got to go old school on this. You got to go out there and have two running backs back there and force them into base defense. So now you got two linebackers checking two running backs, and you run a pass set out of that. These guys is going to win that more 9 times out of 10.
Why would that be so hard to do? I mean, I've been calling for that for years.
But I'm saying, like, not even hand the ball off, just even if out of a passing standpoint.
Yeah.
Like, the linebackers they're not the best in man-to-man coverage. Like, that's just a fact.
That's a fact, Jack.
So you could take advantage of that and make them being a different personnel. And then if they try to offset it, like, okay, we're going to put a nickel out there anyways, now run the ball. Like, you got the number. So it's such a mind game of how you can control what a defense puts out on the field, and you can take advantage of it.
Imagine what a linebacker would have to keep in mind if Emeka Egbuka is in the slot and he comes across the formation at the snap. You've got Quinshon Judkins and Travion in split backs, either side by side or sometimes, Ohio State's going to get under center with Will Howard. You got Will Howard, capable, proven runner. Where do you go with that from a defensive standpoint? You're really counting on the century on the corner to hold his ground, right? I mean, it's crazy.
And you definitely putting a lot on these defenses. You got to be very disciplined.
Yeah, then I go play action. And
then on top of all that, they're going to motion everybody and make you have to think and make you get the right set. So it's a lot, and I'm excited to see what Chip Kelly does with these weapons. But when we come back, we're going to talk about the college football pulse where Nate and Cam takes us through. It's Tim May and Tyvis Powell on the Buckeye Show.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
At Pella, we use the newest technology to show you exactly how new windows would look on your home.
Well, we keep it simple at our window place. We use a number 2 pencil to draw what your house will look like with our new windows. See?
Oh, yeah. That definitely looks like a number 2 too.
Thank you, Leslie. Wait, I see what you did there.
Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rate the leading and most trusted at PellaColumbus.com.
It's time to start saving with deals for days at Giant Eagle and Market District. From the everyday essentials to your must-have branded favorites, Deals for Days has low prices on more than 1,000 items across the store. Don't delay. These discounted prices on your go-to groceries will only be available for a limited time. Learn more about Deals for Days at GiantEagle.com or dive into savings today at your local Giant Eagle or Market District.
Get blindsided. That's why you need to know what's coming in Ohio Medicaid.
Championship quarterback Cardale Jones.
Recent changes in Ohio Medicaid could impact you. If your information isn't up to date, you could lose your health insurance. Call the Ohio Department of Medicaid so you don't have to scramble to stay insured.
Call 800-324-8680. A public health message from CareSource.
That's what I call forward progress.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
When you've been diagnosed with heart or vascular disease, where you start your care makes all the difference.
When you choose the Heart and Vascular Center at The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center.
Our team of specialized experts will manage your condition day to day.
And should you need more advanced care like complex heart or vascular surgery,
you'll never need to travel further.
You didn't choose heart and vascular disease, but the choice of where to treat it is clear.
The Ohio State University Heart and Vascular Center.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars, Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus, The Fan. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good evening, I'm Cam Taylor. The Columbus Crew extended their 5-game unbeaten streak to 6 games last night after they tied Charlotte FC 1-1. Cucho Hernandez's goal at the 32nd minute made him the first player in team history to record 60 goal contributions over a 3-year span, notching 38 goals and 22 assists. The Crew will play Atlanta United FC on Saturday at 7:30. The 2024 Open Championship is at Royal Troon Golf Course in Scotland this year. The leader after the first day is Daniel Brown, who is currently 6 under par. Shane Lowry is 1 shot back at 5 under, and Justin Thomas is 3 shots back in third. 7 players are in a tie for 4th place at 2 under par, and another 7 are tied for 5th at 1 under, including world number 1 golfer Scotty Scheffler. The second round tees off early tomorrow morning at 1:35, and leader Daniel Brown begins his round at 6:04. Breaking sports news when it happens, 97.1 The Fan.
It's time for the College Football Pulse on the Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric. Need heating, cooling, plumbing, or electric? Call a carpenter.
We're back. And ladies and gentlemen, I think everybody knows. You know this, Tyvis. This is Tim May, by the way. Tyvis Powell. You know that you have to have heart to play college football, right?
That's correct.
So let's go to the pulse. This tells whether your heart's beating or not. We're going to jump right into it with our producer, Cam, who's going to throw some volleyballs up there at the net, and we're going to decide whether we're going to pass them back and forth or just spike it.
Okay, awesome. And so I'll start you guys off with some with a boom, OSU football recruiting boom. The OSU defensive tackle Jarquez Carter committed to Ohio State a little over an hour ago. He's a defensive tackle from Florida. He's the 4th defensive tackle in this class, joining. I apologize. I had this for a second ago. Man. It's not signing day yet. The 3rd defensive tackle joining Trajan Odom and Maxwell Roy. Okay. And they're still looking at maybe possibly flipping Malik Autry to finish out the class.
I tell you what, for a guy who everybody said he was done in recruiting, he's done a really good job this time around. Coach Johnson has really hit on some of these recruits, and obviously I'm always a fan of it. You say he played D tackle? I'm always a fan of a D tackle. We were just talking about how big of an impact Ty Hamilton and Tyleek Williams have on this season. If Coach Johnson can get these guys in here and keep producing them, I mean, Mike Hall going second round definitely helps a young recruit think, all right, he's producing guys to still make it to the NFL. Mike Hall goes on there and have a good year. That helps as well.
I think you can put on video, especially from last year, the way Ohio State's using its defensive line now, too. I mean, they're letting guys be athletic, as well as just big two-gappers or whatever, you want to call it. But, that's a big get. And, as far as Larry Johnson's concerned, the GOAT, there have been some people around town who have perennially brought up, look how old he is. He should be stepping down kind of talk, which I think is unfortunate because he's one of the great motivators I've ever seen.
Yeah, he is.
And one of the great coaches I've ever been around. You agree, right, Tyvis?
I agree. Yeah, and I mean, listen, he got a chance this year to really set himself in stone. I understand the frustration from last year because when you look at the recruiting class, he did miss on some top edge rush. I think he missed on like 3 of them. But, you get an Edric Houston in here, and this is a kid that might play this season and probably will play this season.
Yes.
If Jack Sawyer and JT finish this season off and Tyleek and everybody else on that D-line start making plays and they go in the draft, why would you think he's slowing down? I mean, maybe it just took a while for these guys to process the information, and that's okay. That's how some people are wired differently. Some people can come right in and make an immediate impact. Some people, it take a couple of years.
And the hardest thing to find, ladies and gentlemen, is that A-gap stuffing guy that will get after it in college football, much more so than going after a quarterback. And you don't always get the guys you're going after, but you're swinging at them, so. Go ahead, Cam. I'm sorry.
You're good, Tim. Next, I was going to talk to you guys about an article that Heather Dinich has out about the leaders of the college football playoff kind of hitting pause on any more further expansion, at least until this inaugural season with the 12-team format goes. See how that goes before talk about 14 or 16, any other playoff expansion. Just slow your roll a little bit.
Well, see, that's the thing. They don't need to expand it to 16, and I know that it might get there. I feel like 12 is the sweet spot. I feel like 12 is perfect because, see, with 4, you always had 5 and 6. Like, we should have been in. We deserve to be in. I think with 12, that's enough. 13 and 14 need to sit this out. They should never be like, we should be in. Cut it out. All right, I think that the way that you can get in, the requirements that you need to get in is fair. And I just 16 is just too many games. I understand that we might be moving to paying these guys and stuff like that. Okay, whoop-dee. But, now you putting a lot of stuff on their bodies, and they're going to be beat up by the time they get to the NFL. You're going to be forced to go 3 and out.
I do not like 12. I do not like 4 teams getting a bye. I don't like that at all, because major college football is not like basketball. I mean, it is a war in the especially when you get into a playoff realm. It is a war, physical war every time you go out there, and that's coming out of teams playing in conference championship games. The loser of the conference championship game of the Big Four as they stand right now is going to go roll right into that round of 12 probably, unless you've got a really bad record. I just don't think that's fair. I thought it should have been 8 this year. I thought that was the sweet number, and everybody played the same amount of games, or the prospect of playing the same amount of games. So that's where I stand on it. Go ahead, Cam.
Just to piggyback off of what Tim just added, my number was 6. I think that would have been great.
We going the other way.
We're hurdling the other direction.
They want to go up, but we talking about going down.
It's too many teams. Make it exclusive.
I mean,
I agree.
How many times do we think the 12 team is actually going to upset? Would it be the 5th? They'll play the 5th seed?
Yeah.
How often do you think this 12 seed is going to win? It's not. But
yeah. Exactly. So why go through the motions?
I mean, but then again, hold on now, because then again, I can see. All right, so I know a lot of people aren't a fan of the bye, the first round bye, because people are thinking the ACC. Why should the ACC and the Big 12 get one? Well, I think that strategically they did that to create parity, because if you feel like the Big 12 and the ACC isn't a powerful conference, then that means that the loser of the SEC or the Big Ten would have to play the winner. And if they make it to the next round, they would play one of those two schools. So you're essentially looking at a 9 or an 8 or a 10 seed that actually will pull an upset.
Yes.
So that makes it like, oh, see, that's why we went 12.
The round of 8 teams is going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it, because you could have one playing 5. Number 1 playing the 5th seed, and that 5th seed is probably going to be a damn good team from the Big Ten or the SEC.
Yeah, I mean that's why. So I think that's why they did the bye weeks or giving the conferences the bye, to create that illusion that we creating upsets. It still can happen. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, all right. And then earlier today, Quinn Ewers at the SEC Media Days was talking about how he's preparing for their game against the Wolverines this fall. And he still refers to them as the team up north. He's only in Columbus for a year, but that stuck with him still.
I'm mad at Quinn. I really am. Quinn is the reason why we in the situation that we in now with the quarterbacks, because if he would have still been here,
patience, young man.
We wouldn't even, he would have been the quarterback last year. He would have been the quarterback this year. We would have been fine.
Might win a title last year.
Yeah, I'm mad at him for this, because that's crazy. But I understand why he did it. I mean, the almighty dollar is powerful, and he is from Texas, so I understand that. But I tell you what, I respect him a lot more for, at least that tells me that he bought into this program. Even though he was here for only a year, he bought into the program. If he's still calling them the team up north, so I respect him for that. Now, I got to cheer for a guy like that.
He listened to at least one of the lectures. You know that. That's what you get from that. Yeah, I agree with you in all kinds of ways. But you got to play for today, right? And these young players, the transfer portal, it is what it is, and it's crazy how many guys were in the portal even this year, So, did you see? You look at Michigan's schedule, man. They got a really kind of sweet home schedule when you consider they're hosting both Oregon and Texas.
Tim? I was just going to say, kind of piggying back off of Tim again. There was a graphic that Fox College Football put out of the players that have entered the transfer portal since 2018-19 season. I can give you the numbers. In 2018, the first season, it was 1,717 players. The following year actually went down a little bit to 1,692. 2020 is shot up to 2,647. And then first time eclipsing 3,000, 2021 to 2022. 3,500, 2022, 2023, and then this past offseason, 3,843 players entering the transfer portal.
The stat I'd like to see is how many landed, how many came out of the portal, went poof, and are out of the portal and landed somewhere. So how many are still in the portal
in those 6
going?
years, it's literally doubled from the first year in the amount of players.
Tyvis, if the portal had been available, well, it was sort of available to you, but
you had to sit out for a year.
Exactly. Well, would you have entertained the idea?
No.
Yeah, of course not.
No, because I chose Ohio State because that's what I wanted to be a Buckeye, and I was willing to make it work. Whatever it took, I was going to sacrifice to make it work, because my dream isn't to be an LSU Tiger. My dream wasn't to be a Crimson Tide. Like, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a Buckeye.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't fault people for doing it, because at the end of the day, everybody's dream also is to make it to the NFL. And if you're not going to play there, then I understand why you need to leave. But I will say it's different for me, because I feel like if it's a third year or a fourth year guy, I totally understand. Like, you did everything you could to get on the field, but they just got better talent, so you got to get out of there. I get that. Yeah. I get that. But when it's the freshman that comes in and then right away transfer, that one just still don't sit right.
Wait, we just talked about one of those guys, Quinn Ewers.
Yeah. But I get why he did it.
I know you get why he did it.
Quarterback-wise, Like, you got to play. You got NIL deals that revolve around you getting on the field. Like, I get all of those things.
Those all came together at once.
And quarterback is different because there's only one quarterback on the field at one time. So,
yes,
like, you got to wait your turn.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, when it comes your year and then you're not the guy, then you've really.
Yeah. So
exactly.
I understand from a quarterback standpoint, but all the freshmen, other positions, I don't understand it.
Here's what's really come to bear is the big-time programs now totally understand the transfer portal. I do believe.
Except Clemson.
And they're using, exactly. Well, yeah, there's always an exception to the rule. The guy over in the corner yelling fire. But they understand it. They're using it as the waiver wire. They're using it as the free agent place. And that was inevitable.
That's what it is. And, I mean, I can't fault people for doing that. Now, I think Ohio State does it the best. Maybe I'm a little biased for saying that.
Pick and choose.
But I feel like they really develop the guys that they have. And they want to give the opportunity to the players that they recruited, that they've developed. But at the end of the day, when you get closer, and if he's not getting it done and he's not going to be the answer, then they go to the transfer portal to address that. But they always use their own guys first, and maybe they need one or two people to plug in and play right now. Yeah. Maybe the guy's not ready. Maybe the guy's too young. So they go get a veteran to plug in. And I think that's the way you should do it. I'm not a fan of sending all 85 in the portal and then getting a whole new 85. Like, that's ridiculous.
You look at the guys Ohio State, though, just examples, Caleb Downs, Quinshon Judkins, and Seth McLaughlin, just to name a couple. What that has done to this roster from a solidity standpoint. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy way this team has been remade to a certain extent, but with that solid core back. Will Howard, of course, is probably going to be the starting quarterback, it looks like. We'll see how camp goes, but you know, as long as you get the right guys, man, it's payoff city.
Well, I think they've done a really good job of getting the right guys. Now they just have to perform on Saturdays, and that's hopefully, you know, with Coach Mick.
I forgot about that part.
With Coach Mick getting them right this summer and hearing all the stuff that they did this offseason, they should be ready for the season. Speaking of being ready for the season, when we come back, we're going to talk about which OSU NFL player will have a bounce-back year. Tyvis Powell and Tim May on the Buckeye Show.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And, well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
It's Kubota Orange Days, your golden opportunity to score a deal that'll make your neighbors green with envy. Shop the year's best selection of Kubota tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles, including the #1 selling compact tractor in the USA. And get the year's best deals, like 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,300 off L3302 tractors.
Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town.properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint. With their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind or grab a carryout. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizza, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
When you need urgent care and you need it fast, where you go makes all the difference. When you choose Advanced Urgent Care from the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, you're choosing an advanced level of urgent care led by Ohio State emergency physicians. We offer walk-in treatment for more serious illnesses and injuries such as broken bones, abdominal pain, and pneumonia, all with shorter wait times and less cost than an emergency department. When your illness or injury can't wait, the choice is clear.
Guess what? Our ugly faces are on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan and watch all your favorite shows. Laptop, phone, tablet, smart TV, we're everywhere. Bring us in the bedroom with you. Yes, The Fan.
Hi, it's me, Little Bob from Bob's Discount Furniture. I know, you don't know me yet, but I'm here to let you know that I'm opening up 2 brand new showrooms in the Columbus area, located in Reynoldsburg and Polaris, bringing even more of my everyday low prices to the people of Ohio. And if you can't wait, mybobs.com is the quickest and easiest way to get unbeatable furniture prices delivered straight to your home today. That's my 2 brand new Bob's Discount Furniture stores coming to Reynoldsburg and Polaris this summer.
Get Bob's Discount!
Excuse me, waiter, there's a hair in my soup. A long purple hair.
I'm so sorry. I'll get the manager.
I'm the manager. How can I help?
Wait, weren't you the Plum Insurance mascot?
What gave it away? My long purple fur?
Something like that.
What if all insurance companies were like NJM and were known for putting their policyholders first, not gimmicks? Then all those insurance mascots would have to get real jobs.
I'll pass on dessert.
No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Quiet weather overnight as temperatures fall into the mid-50s to upper 50s across the region. We'll see highs in the low to mid-80s for Friday with mostly sunny skies. We'll stay mostly sunny Saturday, high 85, and mostly sunny Sunday as we make our way to 86. Temperatures won't stay really far above normal throughout most of the next 7 days, and no real rain chance until we head toward next week. I'm 10 TV Weather Impact meteorologist Michael Behrens of your latest forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Hating Michigan is our favorite national pastime. This is the Buckeye Show.
Tell you, this is Tim May along with Tyvis Powell, and I want to let you know I had Devin Sanchez, mom and dad, on my show, the Tim May Show, a few weeks ago, and I was telling them about one of my great reasons why I like to live in Ohio instead of Texas is in Texas, where I grew up, which is just north of where they are in Houston, the Houston area, it was about 90 degrees from like late April till October every damn day. And here, as I told them, you get God's air conditioning a couple of days every year in July, no matter what your thoughts are on global warming, et cetera. And today was a glorious day, and I spent most of it inside, which is too bad. How about you, Tyvis?
How you go phrase the day and did not go outside?
Exactly. Well, I had stuff going on, man.
I spent the majority.
We're getting a new roof put on our barn.
I spent the majority of my time in the car because I had to go to Cleveland, do the show, then drive back.
Yeah.
And I had to go grocery shopping, then I had to come here. So I've been in the car a lot today and haven't really had a chance to really enjoy the sunshine, even though I did drive with my sunroof open. So, there you go.
You got a taste of it. You were laughing at me. I'm laughing at you harder. You put effort into not being outside, but I guess when you're on the wide open byways and highways of Ohio, you're always outside in some form or fashion, though, aren't you?
They call me Mr.
With the traffic.
Mr. 71. It seems like I'm on there almost every day.
Yeah, it was my famous line when I was covering the Browns and the Bengals, and the speed limit was 55 miles an hour. I told my wife one time I found a faster way to get to Cincinnati. She said, "How's that?" I go, 85 miles an hour, but not really. But I digress. You can't be arrested from that now. I wanted to ask you this, man. We were talking about this. Which Ohio State NFL players, alums is what not alums, veterans, do you think, which player or players do you think are in for a big bounce back year this year?
Well,
and we started talking about it, and you started naming about
I had some
starting lineup.
They just started jumping off the page to me. But the first one that really came to mind was J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins.
Amen.
When he was with Baltimore and he was healthy, he was as good. He was a really good running back, and obviously the health has derailed him. Now I think he's with the Chargers, which I think is a good landing spot for him. Obviously, when you think about Jim Harbaugh, although he's Wolverine, he likes to run.
What?
Yeah, I know. He likes to run the ball. So I think he's going to help Justin Herbert be a better player by taking the ball out of his hand and not putting so much on him and putting it into that running game. And I think if J.K. can get healthy again and get back to who he was very explosive and he was very fast. I know they got Gus Edwards, who probably may lead the pack, but he brings such a different change of pace, of being a speed back, being a guy that can catch out the backfield, being a guy that can be explosive.
Yeah.
That if he did take over as the star running back, that wouldn't shock me. They have to find a way to replace Austin Eckler. You might have not. Austin Eckler may have not fit into their game plan, but he was a very productive player, from catching the ball out the backfield, running, and scoring. They have to find a way to replace that, and I think J.K. Dobbins is the guy that they're looking to replace Austin Eckler.
Where did Joey Bosa play?
Last year?
Yeah.
He played for the Chargers.
Yeah. Who's he playing for this year?
The Chargers.
Yeah. So I'm sticking with the same team. Has he ever had, I'm trying to remember, Joey, I'm flying free here. I'm not looking at any screen or anything, but has he ever had a total complete season? I'm trying to remember. I mean,
he does always seem to deal with something.
But I mean, he has been dealing with something, but man, I just,
let me see.
Number one, I loved dealing with Joey Bosa when he was at Ohio State. He was a joy to talk to. And, I just watched video of him the other day. I can't remember. It was the 2014 season when he just came on and just was a wrecker. And he has that ability still. But if he could just get one complete season under his belt.
So Joey has played complete seasons. He's played 3 complete seasons.
It seems like none, but because it seems like he's always banged up in some form or fashion.
This will be year 9.
Yeah.
Coming up, but he's played 6 out of he played 3 out of the 9 complete seasons, 16 out of 16 games.
Wow. And boy, if you get a complete season out of him, just like with Chase Young, I mean, right on down the line, I'm not going to take that away from you. You might be naming him next, but Chase Young, I won money. I was out in Vegas during the Super Bowl week, and my buddy Jeff Snook enticed me into gambling at least $50. So one of my picks, prop bets, was Chase Young over under 1/2 sack. So I said over, and I won money on him. I also had Nick Bosa for more money, having more over under 1/2 sack. He got Zippo, but he was so close to so many sacks. But the point is, Chase Young has still got it. I'm not sure he was ever totally confident last year about letting it all hang out, and because coming back from injury is always just like with J.K. Dobbins. You're wishing him the best, man, but
it's hard because it's a mental thing to trust. First of all, if it's a lower leg injury, now you got to trust that you can still do those things. You can still make those cuts.
That make you different.
Yeah, that made you different. You got to be able to trust that you can do, because that might be what got you hurt to begin with.
Yes.
So once you clear that mental hurdle, then the sky's the limit. My next pick, and this might be because of I really root for this guy. I really cheer for this guy. And you know his story, and you've seen what he's been through, and he's getting the opportunity. But Garyon Conley is a guy. I wouldn't call it, I guess you could call it a bounce back, because, he was out of the NFL, and now he's back in the NFL through hard work and just playing great in the UFL. I really root for Garyon. I really hope that, he's with Dallas right now for camp and the preseason. I really hope that he finds a way to make this stick, because I think he's one of the most athletic guys I've ever played with, and I think he can still help an NFL team, whether it's special teams, whether it's being at corner. I think he's a really good player, and I think that they'll find that out. And I expect to see him make somebody's 53-man roster, even if it is in Dallas.
Yeah. He had that little tryout with Dallas, and boom, they signed him to a contract. And I had him on the Tim May show several weeks ago, but I really enjoy, because he's bounced back a few times from different things, Yeah. And we talked about some of that, especially just before the draft. He still went in the first round, but what a nightmare that was for him with the allegations that were disproven against him, and he moved on. And then injuries, they're just right around the corner, aren't they, in football? Yeah. Just right around the corner. If you can avoid them, good for you. But he didn't give up on his pro football career or thoughts, and humbled himself, if that's what you want to call it, by going to the UFL. And as he pointed out, and I had Drew Chrisman on my show too, former punter at Ohio State, you're still playing pro football, and everybody in the UFL is trying to make a point that they belong in the NFL.
Correct.
So maybe the crowds aren't there, but the intensity is off the chart in some respects. Mm-hmm. And Garyon stood out.
Yes, he did.
I mean, because he's always been a special player, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wish him nothing but the best, too, because he's also working with youth now and doing all kinds of things. Real quick, before we go, a guy you really like, and I really like, too, Von Bell. What are your thoughts on him, man?
Von...
Vital piece of that Bengals defense a couple years ago.
I know. Von flew under the radar last year because he was with the Carolina Panthers. And, I mean, stats-wise, they was okay, but it was nothing jumping out. I think now that he's back in a situation where he's with a good team, and obviously they still have Super Bowl aspirations because they're looking at this like it's all or nothing because there's so many guys that might be gone after this season.
He's such a heady player, man.
So Von, now that he's back with Cincinnati, I think we'll see him because he has to be a captain. He's always been a leader, and, I think he's going to be the guy that helps them cross that bridge. They need somebody in that secondary that's going to make plays outside of Mike Hilton. Mike Hilton does his thing. Yeah. But outside of him, they need another playmaker, and I think Von Bell could do that, whether it's making a big hit or making a big interception.
It's always great when somebody missed you, and they missed him.
Yes,
agreed?
They did. That's why they went and got him. Yeah. When we come back, we'll hear from the new AD, Ross Bjork. This is Tyvis Powell and Tim May on The Buckeye Show.
If you don't like listening to Morning Juice, Bobby Carpenter's man nipples will punch you in the face. For real.
You want to fight, do you? Weekdays from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony for the Good Feet store. 3 words for me, pain-free summer. Spent probably 30 hours walking around the Memorial Tournament and felt awesome with my personal arch supports from the Good Feet store in my everyday kicks. Sure, every now and then we all get random foot pain from pickleball or golf or just being a human being. Having my personally fit arch supports in my shoes has made a massive difference. And even right after I put them in, didn't take long to feel much more supported and aligned, and it's so easy to just move them into any pair. Before I had them, I dreaded being on my feet for any length of time. Well, you have nothing to lose but the pain, as they say. It's a free fitting and test walk. Try them for yourself. See the difference it can make. It did for me. And best of all, you can wear them home. 2 locations on Polaris Parkway and Stringtown Road, or schedule an appointment at goodfeet.com. The Good Feet store, America's arch supports experts.
Find so many great deals with one stop at Meijer. Like this Friday and Saturday only. Get a $10 coupon when you spend $75 or more in store. Coupon printed at checkout. Start redeeming next week. Plus, this week's hottest deals on Southern Peaches for 99 cents per pound. Fresh from Meijer Family Pack chicken breasts for $2.29 per pound. And select Meijer cheese 3 for $5. Meijer has all you need in just one stop. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in store or in the Meijer app.
Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers, the people who refuse to make trade-offs in life. Like Kelly, when her old car insurance got so expensive that she couldn't afford to drive anymore, do you think she started carrying her groceries for miles? No. But she did find Direct Auto's savings that allowed her to drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25%, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a quote today at directauto.com. Savings based on applied discounts and will vary. Terms apply. How you buy can affect price. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
You're not going to want to miss this. Diamonds Direct summer sale starts this weekend. For 3 days only, this Friday through Sunday, get 20% off rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their latest trends. That's 20% off, plus $100 off with an appointment and designer trunk shows. Tons of engagement rings on sale, too. 20% off starts Friday. Details at diamondsdirect.com. 3 days only and Sunday.
If you're listening to this and you're not already keeping it easy in your backyard with Bud Light, well, consider this message a gentle reminder. Your backyard is waiting, and so is that Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Bud Light. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Billiards Plus has everything for the master griller in your house. Come to their showroom, open the lid, and feel the difference in their grills. Professional top quality equipment at great prices with a huge selection ready to go home with you. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Introducing Optimized IT, the managed services division of Modern Office Methods. With our cutting-edge managed IT services, we ensure your business always stays ahead of the curve, keeping you one step ahead of your competition. We bring proven management strategies to the table to support your current IT team, as well as provide insight on how to maximize efficiency, helping you achieve your goals faster. Concerned about security? Our backup solutions help guarantee your data is protected around the clock, giving you peace of mind. Start at OptimizedIT.net for your free IT assessment. Stay ahead, stay secure, and stay optimized.
It's Kubota Orange Days, your golden opportunity to score a deal that'll make your neighbors green with envy. Shop the year's best selection of Kubota tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles, including the #1 selling compact tractor in the USA. And get the year's best deals, like 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,300 off L3302 tractors.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Scarlet and Gray 24/7, or however long the show is tonight. You're listening to the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
We're back. Tim May, along with Tyvis Powell. Tyvis Powell, you're going to be swinging for the fence? Or is it fence or fences? There's just one fence, isn't there?
There's only one fence.
Yeah. Although you could swing for that one and the baseball fence.
Well,
on Saturday night.
I could hit it all the way out the park. That's my plan.
There you go. Break some lights, like in the natural. And I've always thought of you as the natural. But I
appreciate that.
Yeah. We want to remind people, the Schmitz Cardell Jones celebrity softball game is coming, and it's coming Saturday night. Why picnic when you can Schmidtnick? Well, you got to read that very easily, very clearly. And it's presented by Monogram Homes and the U.S. Air Force. It's Saturday night, July the 20th, which is 2 nights from tonight at Huntington Park, 6:30 p.m. You got current Ohio State football players versus former beat-up, maybe sway-back Ohio State players like Tyvis Powell. What do you think, Tyvis?
Oh, I think you're in for a rude awakening if you believe that.
There you go. But no, Tyvis, ladies and gentlemen, has been dreaming about this night, getting even. The captains are Cardell Jones, former player. He won a championship of some repute. The 2014 stepped in for J.T. Barrett and led him to victory. And Emeka Egbuka, or as I call him, Emeka the Bazooka Egbuka, when it comes to playing softball. I don't know, 4-1 last year, I think was the score, right? The current players beat the formers.
Something like that.
But tickets are only $10. They are available today at BuckeyeCruise.com. You're looking forward to it. I know you are. You like it anytime you're on any kind of platform or stage, don't you?
Well, I don't get to be as competitive anymore, and I miss it. So anytime I get a chance to compete, I always embrace it.
Yeah. It reminds me, I wanted to ask you this. We were talking about Buckeye players trying to bounce back, and I wanted to get your take on this because I've never asked you this before, but football really, most sports are like this, but football in particular, somebody tells you when your career is done, usually.
90% of the time,
whether it's a doctor,
you don't make your own decision.
Or
they
coach
tell
or
you.
general manager. Yeah. What was that like? I mean, what's it like when you know it's done? You've been doing that sport for 20 years, probably minimum in some form or fashion, getting to be one of the elites at it, and suddenly it's not there anymore. What is that like for some of these guys? Well, what was it like for you, I guess?
For me, it put me in a very dark spot, very, very dark spot. So for me, I lost my NFL job during COVID. COVID, in the off season, they have a 90-man roster. But when COVID hit, they had to cut it to, I think it was 75. And we weren't meeting. So I was with the Denver Broncos. We weren't meeting. So literally the first day of spring ball or OTAs, like when you do meetings.
Yes.
I literally was like 5 minutes before I was supposed to get on my iPad to be in the meeting. They called me and they released me right then and there because of COVID. And I was like flabbergasted. Like, what is this? So it's all new to me. And, your agent's scrambling to try to get you a job. But at that time, nobody was being brought in because everybody was doing social distance and nobody understood COVID all the way and quarantine and all of these things. So it was just a time where I didn't know if it was over or not. I didn't know if it was because of COVID or if it was because of my play. I ended up doing a workout with the Colts and didn't get that job. And then I spent that whole year not playing. You know, it was more like that season was more of a, even if you weren't good, if you were in the NFL, like at that time, like if you was on somebody's roster, you did preseason or something, and you got cut, even if you were terrible, you would still get picked up because they know you're vaccinated. They know they don't have to worry about COVID because you've been quarantined with everybody else. So it kind of kept everybody else out of the light. I sat out that entire season, and I decided to go play in the CFL. And I told myself, when I go to the CFL, if I can't make it in the CFL, then I have no chance of making it back to the NFL.
Yeah.
And when I was the last cut, which still to this day is hilarious to me, I was the last cut. I was like, that's when I said, all right, it's done. Like I told myself, if I don't make it here, I'm done. And that was it. So
what city were you in?
I played for the BC Lions.
So did you go stand on the street corner and go, I'm in Canada, my career is over?
No, because it was one of those things where
you could have hit Ice Road Truckers, but go ahead.
It was one of those things that I was so upset.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't, I don't think to this day, it wasn't because of my play. It was more politics.
Yes.
It was more about the vaccination and stuff like that, because I wasn't vaccinated at the time. And in Canada, they took that to the next level. And when I realized that politics played more of a role in you getting a job than you actually being good at the sport, I was like, I don't want to do it no more. Like, it took the fun out of it. Something that I dedicated myself to since I was 9 years old is derailed because of a shot. Like that really bothered me at that time. So at that time, I was in a very dark spot, and I stopped drilling. I stopped working out and stuff like that. And here I am with the radio. So
But what a beautiful family you've got that's blossoming too. I mean, you know, I remember I took a picture of you and Billy Price, who found out a couple of weeks later after I took that picture of you guys at the spring game. Remember Billy Price came by with his kid, and his career's over. And his career's over. You never know what's coming around the corner. Hey, speaking of that, real quick, let's play one little cut. Has nothing to do with that, but I was talking with Ross Bjork yesterday. They named the new baseball coach, Justin Hare, out of Campbell University, and they named the new softball coach, Kieran Kumar, or she goes as 2K. I said her nickname is Y2K. She liked that, actually. But Kieran Kumar, but bottom line is, you know, these sports go on. They just formally introduced them to us. They've been hired for a while, but let's get to Ross Bjork's thinking on these two new hires.
Yeah, well, you know, going into this search, actually for both, really softball and baseball, very similar here, right? The geography, maybe a little challenging. The weather, you know, we have to spend the first month on the road, and, you know, we have to get out of the cold weather, all those kind of things. But there's no reason why we can't be in the mix. And so to me, it's somebody that's going to be creative, somebody that's going to embrace it, somebody that may schedule, look, do we need to be playing games in California in February? What if we play in Miami, or we're on the East Coast and we got alumni down there? So bringing all those sort of creative attributes to the table. And then I really believe, based on my research, that you can win with players in this region. Kentucky's done it, right, in baseball. Team up north has been in College World Series in both sports, right? So if you have the right approach and it comes down to leadership, then it can happen. And then you throw in the Ohio ties, you embrace tradition here, you embrace the place. I just thought the energy, both of them, that they bring that to the table, I just thought that could be a difference maker for our program.
Yeah, let's go ahead and play the very next cut too, fellas, back there behind the glass, Nate, and then Tyvis and I will comment real quickly.
Look, back to the equation part of it. Yeah. Look, we can't just money whip people here at Ohio State. Maybe you can do that in the SEC, both whether that's facilities, whether that's NIL, whether that's fan base. So how do we be creative in that ecosystem? And it's going to take the blue collar. It's going to take developmental. It's going to take a creative offense that Coach, you know, Kumar runs. It's all those things that you throw that in there. And again, Coach Hare said it, you know, why not? So that was really kind of our approach in both searches.
Yeah, it was interesting, Tyvis. I just want to get that in because a new world is coming around the corner for all the sports other than football, men's basketball, and maybe women's basketball, maybe a couple others. There's going to be belt tightening because of the revenue sharing situation, which is too bad wasn't around when you were there.
I know.
But are you even? No, it's the reparations only go back to 2016 too.
Listen,
right?
I played my last game in 2016, January 1st of 2016. So they should still cut me a check. I was a college athlete in 2016.
There should be some check headed your way. But I wanted to ask you, it is going to be challenging times because Ohio State's got 36 sports. Alabama's got like 20 or 21. Texas has like 20 or 21. Mm-hmm. It's not, it's apples and oranges when it comes to the breadth of some of these athletic departments. And so there's going to be some belt tightening for some of these other sports, so to speak. And I don't know, just from a guy that played football there and was treated pretty well as a football player, what do you think the challenge is as you look at it for some of these other sports to still be competitive?
I mean, obviously, football is going to bring in the most money. I think that it's really going to come down to Ross being strategic. Maybe, yes, football is going to get a big slice of it, but maybe one year we can take some of this money and put it towards baseball. Maybe this other year we can put it towards volleyball. Like, I think it's just going to be a bunch of alternating, finding places to put that money, alternating every year. Maybe the volleyball team gets a little bit more. Maybe softball team, women hockey. Like, I think they just gotta wait their turn and wait their year, and hopefully they can do it in a way they're not falling behind in their sports.
Yeah, and like you pointed out, you got to be creative. You can still be big time, but you got to be creative on some of these things, right? I mean, from a facility standpoint, from a scheduling standpoint, maybe you don't take all the big time trips to like California, Arizona. You go to Florida, where you can play all year, right? I mean, different things like that. But because baseball and softball have always been a little bit behind the beam from the standpoint of from a weather standpoint.
Well, it's a challenge up here.
Yeah, I mean, late March you're playing in 30-degree weather, and May finally it's baseball season, but that's when the playoffs start. But go ahead. I mean, I'm just curious about you in those kind of things, about if you guys think about the other sports sometimes.
Well, we'll talk about that when we come back. Also, we got the best on the socials with #Buckeyes. Tyvis Powell and Tim May, the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
Ma, the meatloaf!
The Fan.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Kroger always gives you savings and rewards on top of our lower-than-low prices. And when you download the Kroger app, you can enjoy over $500 in savings every week with digital coupons. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. And with a Boost membership, you'll save even more with double fuel points and free delivery. So you can always save big every day with our savings and rewards. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town.properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safelite, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber. Happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center August 1st through 4th. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2024 to purchase your tickets today.
Hello, loyal listener. Make sure to spend your summer with the Fan. Are you going on a road trip? Don't suffer through the bad playlists and hillbilly radio stations. Download the Fan app and take us with you. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman. Help me get the MLS All-Star Game party started at Rally House in Reynoldsburg for a special event this Sunday. I'll be there 10 to noon. Meet former crew player Alejandro Moreno for a picture and autograph from 1 to 2. Even get a special MLS house-branded rally towel as a gift with purchase for the first 150 customers starting right at high noon. It's all this Sunday. Rally House is much more than just another sports store. Located in the shops at East Broad in Reynoldsburg, show your colors at Rally House. See you Sunday.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See? We didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
You know that project you've been working on? Just chipping away at it, dreaming of the day you get to show it off? Then, when you're least expecting it, cancer. And finishing that project actually happens. I would know. I've been restoring this car for years, and today I'm giving it to my granddaughter. It's her 16th birthday and 2 years since my cancer diagnosis.
Mom, you finished it?
Happy birthday, boo-boo. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.
Hi, it's me, Little Bob from Bob's Discount Furniture. I know, you don't know me yet, but I'm here to let you know that I'm opening up 2 brand new showrooms in the Columbus area, located in Reynoldsburg and Polaris, bringing even more of my everyday low prices to the people of Ohio. And if you can't wait, mybobs.com is the quickest and easiest way to get unbeatable furniture prices delivered straight to your home today. That's my 2 brand new Bob's Discount Furniture stores coming to Reynoldsburg and Polaris this summer.
Get Bob's discount. All your favorite Fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Social media can be a cesspool. Allow us to navigate the waters. #Buckeyes.
Sponsored by The Waterworks. Trust the pros at The Waterworks for all your plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling needs. Visit thewaterworks.com today to get started.
We're back for one final segment. Tim May along with Tyvis Powell. We've been having a good time here on the Buckeye Show. Do you agree with that, Tyvis? We've had a good time.
Oh, absolutely.
As you play air guitar.
That's a banger. I always love that song.
The people on YouTube can see you playing air guitar.
Oh, we got it. It's back up and working?
I have no idea, but I just know that there's a possibility, so I'm trying to keep my act clean. This is that #Buckeyes or Buckeye portion of the show before we. And I'm just wondering, what's one you found that intrigues you today?
Well, this one came out right before I got into the building. So apparently the NFL league executives, coaches, and scouts are voting on who are the top corners. Number 1 was Pat Surtain II in Denver, and at number 2 comes a Buckeye. Denzel Ward was the number 2 ranked cornerback. Denzel definitely, listen, he had a season last year where I looked at him and I don't know if it was a confidence thing. I had to be a confidence thing. He truly felt like he was the best in the league, and my goodness, he went out there on Sundays and made it happen. As long as he stays healthy, he's probably arguably top 5 corner in this league.
He's the first guy I ever thought of. I came up with this idea, a guy that can mirror you.
Yeah.
You know, whatever move you make, he can make almost immediately. Mm-hmm. That's what I mean by mirror. It's like he's playing like a marionette. It's like he's suspended on strings. It's like his feet hardly ever seem to really solidly touch the ground. He's he is special, and boy, if he could have just been a little more healthy, through the years, I think he would be right up there with anybody as far as like people you're talking about.
Well, when I seen Denzel young, because I think he was my last year, I think he was a freshman. When I seen him young, I looked at him and I said, he's gifted.
Yes,
that's
it's just the word.
Some people just are gifted naturally. You can't coach it. Other people can't mimic what he does. He's just truly gifted. And some of the things he did was just so freakish. And I was like, he's going to be really good.
Yeah, yeah. hashtag Buckeyes I'm looking at is by my colleagues at LettermanRow.com. I mean, they're immediately had an impact analysis on Jarquez Carter, the newest commitment to Ohio State's 2025 class. And obviously defensive lineman par excellence, a big get. Is that you like that term? You were a big get, weren't you, when Ohio State got you?
I mean, well, I committed at the time where
you went from a big get to a got.
Everybody was, jumping ship. Tressel had resigned, the bowl ban that came out, and then boom, Tyvis decides to still commit. So it was like, has this kid been watching the news?
I call that great timing because guys like us covering the team, is there going to be anything close to what you would call positive over the next several months and stuff? And Tyvis Powell, you broke the string, but this Jarquez Carter pickup is huge. I mean, like we talked about, we spent almost a whole segment on it, just about what Larry Johnson is doing when everybody wants to put him in the retirement home. He's stepping up and stepping out. Now, you agree, right? I mean,
I do. Yeah. I mean, I think that, listen, last year showed, like I said, they didn't get the sacks, but they were good in every other stat. Yeah. Quarterback pressures, beating their blocks, getting to the quarterback. And they
everything but takeaways.
They did everything but sacks and takeaways as a defense. And I think this secondary is able to shine because they was able to get to that quarterback and force that quarterback to throw the ball. So they're getting there. I mean, this year, they just need to take that extra step to actually getting the sacks. Once the sacks come, I don't see why you would think Coach Johnson isn't effective anymore. I mean, that's literally the only thing that's not there.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I asked you this a couple of Saturdays ago. I want to ask you again, just about as a player right now in the middle, it's literally the middle of July. Mm-hmm. Are you do you remember just sitting there going, when's the season going to get here? Were you antsy about, or were you welcoming maybe a day or two off? I mean, with the grind that is college football anymore, it's almost 24/7, 365. The expectations of working with Mickey Marotti during the off times. That's a pretty funny way of putting it, right? Just what is it like right now for these players who know the expectations on this team?
I mean, it's just about making sure your body's right. Camp is literally, a couple weeks away? So you want to make sure that you are getting your last big lifts in, because once you check in, you're not going to lift heavy for the rest of the season. You're going to do things that's maintaining your weight. So you want to get your last heavy lifts in. You want to make sure that you're stretching out. You want to make sure that you're foam rolling. The worst thing is getting here and then popping a hamstring on the first day of camp. That's the worst thing that can happen to you. So you want to make sure that you are getting in shape, making sure that you're crisp. All your movements is crisp. For me, it was about making sure that I can break 365. I go any direction and be crisp. 1-2. So when camp comes around and it's time for me to make a play, I can make those plays. So that's, to me right now, I call it fine-tuning. You're fine-tuning yourself and getting yourself ready for camp. I'm not saying you're excited. You'll be excited day one of camp. But right now, you're just simmering. You're simmering right now until camp comes.
And real quick before we go, obviously you played for Urban. Mm-hmm. Was camp a physical grind?
What?
No, I'm just asking you. I mean,
was it?
I'm telling you, way back in the day, it was a much, rules don't let it be a grind like it used to be.
It was still a grind.
John Cooper had 3 a days, man.
We wasn't doing that. We did 2 a days though, and it seems like as soon as I left, they outlawed it. So it's ridiculous now. But 2 a days, you would go to practice, get done, and they donated a bunch of air mattresses. So you would have a bunch of air mattresses on the indoor facilities just laid out of people getting a quick nap in. Every time we laced up to go back out on that field for that second practice, I would say to myself, I cannot believe that we're about to do this again.
Yeah, exactly. But when you look at it now, a lot of that stuff, you don't get to do that anymore.
No, they ain't doing that no more.
Are these guys missing out, or is that the way it should have been all the way along?
That's the way it should have been all along.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I feel like it's longevity now. The way that they have it now helps you to be able to have a longer career. If you putting all that on your body, obviously your career shortens because there's so many hits and so much wear and tear on your body.
Tyvis, you know this, man. Every time I've been around you, I totally enjoy the experience. I totally enjoy the experience, and I think we've had a pretty good show today, and I'm looking forward to more in the future, my man.
Oh, yeah, we definitely going to have to do some more shows in the future.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this show, go watch Tyvis hit some home runs tomorrow, Saturday night, in the Huntington Park.
And also, the Buckeye Show is available 5 to 10 minutes after we get off wherever you get your podcast. Just download the Buckeye Show if you missed out on anything. It was great conversations.
Yeah, and speaking for Tyvis Powell, this is Tim May. Looking forward to the opportunity tomorrow to be on the Bo Bishop Show. But until then, for the Buckeye Show, we'll see you next time.
1, 2, 3. Here in the Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan.
Meet Abdullah Mahmood, problem gambling counselor at Maryhaven. More and more people are falling into problem gambling. It can happen so quickly that you don't realize it until you face a crisis. Gambling issues often connect to depression, anxiety, or other addictions. Maryhaven's experts offer comprehensive care. You and your loved ones can count on mental, emotional, and financial guidance.
Confidential and judgment-free. Go to maryhaven.com today.
We go to war for you.
Insurance disputes can be a battle, a cage match, but we're here to win it for you. I'm Robert Scherger. At Scherger Schnarr Trial Attorneys, we know the law and we'll fight for your rights. Call us at 877-WARFORYOU.com or visit warforyou.com for a free consultation. That's 877-WAR-FOR-YOU. 877-WAR-FOR-YOU. Or visit warforyou.com.
War for you. warforyou.com.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
Hey Buckeye fans, the best new resort in the country is right here in the state of Ohio. Introducing the Grand Resort in Warren, Ohio. Whether it's family fun, an adult getaway, a conference or event, there's no place like it. It's a year-round destination with the best golf, med spa, dining, salon and spa, pools, lounges, and activities. The Grand Resort will be the best staycation you've ever had. Go to the website, thegrandresort.com, or call 330-856-1900. The Grand Resort in Warren, Ohio. We're waiting for you.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Did the pandemic eliminate quality customer service? Well, many places it did, but not here at Heartland Bank. Imagine getting top quality service and good advice as well to help you down life's road. It's community banking, and it's alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb, CEO. Coming over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.